What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Going for Two. We have a very, very special guest. We're on with us today. We got 24-hour sports. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Daryl Green, the host of 24 Hour Sports on YouTube. That's 24HOUR Sports spelled out. It's not 24, it's not 24, it's 24 Hour Sports spelled out. And on that channel, we just talk about all sports. We talk about football, basketball, everything that's relevant, the hottest topics in sports. That's what we do over there. But here today, I'm here with Going for Two, Keywan Humphreys, and we got some good basketball to talk about.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Pacers and Cavs. My boy here got a lot to say about this game. So I'm gonna open the floor. Go ahead, my brother.
Pacers versus Cleveland Cavaliers. This was a series that when I saw game one, I automatically knew that we would be in for a good series. The first thing that I thought about when thinking about how these two teams go against each other is, Indiana, that's a fast-paced basketball team. They got Hallie, he's going to get out and run, and they up and down, up and down, up and down. Now with Cleveland, they have a few things that you have to look at and say, okay, although they lost in game one, there's still some room for optimism there. And they have to get Garland back, of course. But you look at how they shot from three, this team shot 9 for 38 from the three-point line. So you shoot 9 for 38 from the three-point line and you only lose by 9 points. Now, that's not to say that they're just going to come out here in game two and shoot the basketball extremely well, but it is something that you have to pay attention to. However, overall, I still have to give a lot of credit to Indiana and how they looked in this basketball game. Now, I think why they pose such a problem for Cleveland is the spacing. That's all that I saw throughout the basketball game. You had Aaron Nesmith. He came in. He knocked down some huge threes, especially in the second half. 17 points, 4 or 6 from the three. Played some great defense. He was tasked along with Nimhart. They were going back and forth, guarding Donovan Mitchell, who I think – I'm going to talk about Donovan Mitchell a little bit later, but I think he had a decent game. He can be better. He can be better, though, and I think there's a lot of ways he can attack in this series. But you look at Indiana, they're spacing. Jared Allen for the Cleveland Cavaliers, he's put into a really tough position. The Indiana Pacers are running what is essentially a 5-out because of how well Miles Turner can shoot the three-point shot. Now you got Hallie. He has the defense at his disposal, and especially in that second half, that fourth quarter, where they had to make some of those big-time shots to really extend the lead and win that basketball game, all they were doing, get the high pick and roll. We're going to get Jared Allen switched on to Tyrese Haliburton. And I swear there were at least 2 step-back threes in that fourth quarter with Tyrese Haliburton found the switch, identified the mismatch, and he's picking on Jared Allen. Jared Allen is in a very tough situation because, like I said, Miles Turner, he only shot 1 of 3 from the three-point line in game one, but we know how hot he can get from the three-point line, so you really have to respect him. And then you look at Andrew Nimhart. Talk about it was one possession late in the basketball game. There was about 2 seconds left on the shot clock. He was right there on the right wing, hit a big time three that really took some of the heart out of the Cleveland Cavaliers basketball team. So I think just overall, how we've seen everybody for that Pacers team, especially in the starting lineup, showcase the ability to score. Pascal Siakam didn't have an extremely efficient night, went 6 for 15, but he still got to his spot a few times in that second half and throughout the game where he could get some easy points. Aaron Nesmith, because now with the Indiana Pacers, with Tyrese Haliburton, we know he's really a pass first point guard. Oftentimes he's looking to make the pass. Had 13 assists in this basketball game. And that's because he can put so much pressure on the defense. He can get to the rim and he's not really looking to take the layup. He's going to force the help. And how many times did we see an extra pass to a wide open Aaron Nesmith, a wide open Andrew Nimhart? So I think the spacing and the ability for so many players in that lineup for Indiana to put the ball on the floor, like Nimhart, like Haliburton, like Pascal Siakam, that really posed problems for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Going to the Cleveland Cavaliers side, I think that they're just going to have to say, okay, DeAndre Hunter, you got to be the man in this series. That's who I think has to step up in this series for this basketball team. Had 30 minutes in game one, but I think he can offer you a lot more offensively and then defensively. We know Evan Mobley. What is he, the best defender in the NBA? I mean, he's a guy that although he stands at 7 feet, he can guard the perimeter, he can switch on the pick and roll, and he can protect the paint. So I want to see him play more at the 5, and we're probably gonna have to take some of those minutes away from Jared Allen. You're probably going to have to go to one of those smaller wings like Sam Merrill, like Max Strus, and then have DeAndre Hunter in there, because DeAndre Hunter offers the ability for you to switch everything. So if I'm Cleveland, I'm probably thinking I want to get some of those lineups. Even Isaac Okoro, he's a
Mm-hmm.
great defender. Doesn't offer you much offensively, but I'm thinking for to really start the basketball game and set the tone defensively, of course you got to have Donovan Mitchell on the basketball court. That's a non-negotiable. But outside of that, you got to have Donovan Mitchell. Hopefully you can get Garland back healthy. And then, I mean, you can even go in a perfect world, you can go Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley.
Right.
That would be one of my lineups where I say, okay, now defensively, we still got players who can put the ball in the basket, but defensively, we can match up and switch everything to where the 5 out is not necessarily a problem for us, which it has been in game 1 from Indiana.
Right. I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. I think we need to see a lot more of Evan Mobley at the 5, because Evan Mobley's defensive player of the year. You know, even when he got drafted, a big reason why he was drafted so high was because of his defensive versatility. And I think in a series like this, where you having, a ball screen every time down the court, pretty much, you got to have a big that can get out there and slide them. But I think you touched on it a little bit. I touched on how the Cavaliers shot bad. I'm a big believer. I don't know where you are, but I'm a big believer in rust versus rest. Rust versus rest. Teams that sit for a week long gotta jump back into playoff intensity. They may not, shoot as well. This is the Cleveland Cavaliers team that has made more than 10 threes in 91 straight basketball games. And they only made 9 last game. They only lost by 9 points, but it's a weird concept. It's a tough concept because, like you said, we can't guarantee that the Cavs are gonna come out and hit 15 or so threes, But on the flip side of that same rust versus rest coin, the Pacers made 19 threes. They were nowhere near rusty. You talked about Andrew Nembhard. Andrew Nembhard, his story as far as being a playoff riser is something that I've never heard of at all. He hit I think he hit 4 or 5 threes in game 1. This is a guy that shoots 27% from 3 in the regular season. In the
Yeah.
playoffs, it's up to 50. That is crazy. That's a crazy rise that I've never seen it personally, But with the spacing that Indiana has, and you touched on, but the spacing that they have, Jared Allen he's like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
He's out on the perimeter. He has to stay with Miles Turner. And if he switches, he's on that island with Haliburton. Haliburton actually surprised me with game 1. I didn't know he was that good as a one-on-one player. I
Yeah.
didn't know he was. You talked about the two-step back threes over Allen, but I remember the when he got to the elbow and had the step through. That was super tough. You know what I'm saying? So I think game 1, I'm not one to panic. This is a team that's won 68 games this season, so I guess we have to give him benefit of the doubt. But it's tough because if they don't make the adjustments, they're going to lose this series. Not to mention, before we started recording, they're saying that Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter are all game time decisions. Evan Mobley rolled his ankle at some point, I want to say in the second half. DeAndre Hunter dealing with a dislocated thumb, I believe. And all 3 of those guys missed shoot around earlier today. They might have updated their status, but as of right now, they're game time decisions. We don't know whether they're playing or not. So
Yeah.
that puts more pressure on Jared Allen, because if you don't got Mobley, Allen got to stay in the game. And it also puts immense pressure on Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell had 30 points, but if you just look at the points, you wouldn't realize this was not the best Donovan Mitchell game.
No.
13 for 30 from the field, 1 for 11 from 3-point range. It just didn't. I don't know. I'm not gonna bail him out by saying he hasn't played in a week, but in a game where you're the main guy, Garland's out, you have to take care of business. You have to take care of business. And him forcing up a bunch of shots, they were very perimeter centric, more than they had to be for me. You have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, 2 twin towers. You should be feasting in the paint. Evan Mobley had 20 points, 9 for 13 from the field. This is a guy that, to me, he won Defensive Player of the Year, but he could have won Most Improved Player. I think the way that he's played this season might be the biggest reason why they are the first seed. because Kenny Atkinson, a big thing that he said when he got hired was, okay, I want to unleash Evan Mobley, and we saw that throughout the regular season. So I'm just it's just appalling to me how he only gets 13 shots. No Darius Garland. He only gets 13 shots. You got Ty Jerome, who's been good this playoff run. I'm not going to disrespect Ty Jerome, but he's taking 20 shots off the
Yeah.
bench, you know? And I just feel like, against this lineup, against the team that they're playing against, they have a decent amount of perimeter defenders in Neesmith and Nimhard. Why not attack the paint? We saw it
Yeah.
last series. Giannis was getting whatever he wanted down there. You have 2 7-footers. Go to the basket. Go to the basket. I think they definitely, if Mobley can play, if he's healthy, they definitely have to find a way to make him the focal point of the offense. The second half of the season for the Cavs, they were nowhere near as good as they were throughout the first half. And majority of that, to me, what I saw was Donovan Mitchell was not as spectacular as he was coming out the gate. And there were times I think they went on a 3-game losing streak in like maybe the middle of March. In those games, Donovan Mitchell struggled. And it seemed like to us, Evan Mobley should be the man right here. He should be the guy. And I believe in this series, this is a series where, hey, this is where he can dominate. This is where he can dominate. And they have to let him off the leash, let him go. They have to.
He touched on a lot of great points. I think for me, and this kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning, for me, you look at it, Cleveland, they shot 38 threes, and
Right.
Indiana shot 36 threes. Now, if I told you that the team that shot 52% from the three-point line shot less threes than the team that
Mm-hmm.
shot 23.7% from the three-point line, you would automatically think something is wrong. Even with Donovan Mitchell, yes, like you said, he had 33 points, but me and you both know this was not a common Donovan Mitchell game. This was
Mm-hmm.
not a plus or even an A worthy Donovan Mitchell game. There were times throughout the game where when he got downhill and wanted to attack the rim, he said that nobody's going to stop me. I'm just going to go downhill. He
Mm-hmm.
got what he wanted in the paint against this Indiana basketball team. And just to see him stray away from that and take 11 3-point shots when the 3-point shot really wasn't falling, there was one specific 3-point shot that he took. I believe it was like in the third quarter, where he already knew that he made a poor decision. He patted on his chest. He said, "That's on me," because when I'm going downhill to the rim, he was 6 of 9 from the free throw line. But even just putting pressure on these on-ball defenders of Indiana, Aaron Neesmith, while I think he's a good physical defender, he gave Donovan Mitchell some troubles. You got to get him in the foul trouble. You got to get Nimhard in the foul trouble. You have to get these players for Indiana out of the basketball game,
Mm-hmm.
because when you're looking at it for Cleveland, like you said, no disrespect to Ty Jerome, 6th man of the year candidate, had a good case for it, even though Peyton Pritchard won it, but 8 of 20 from the field. He is one of those guys that's more so a spark plug. When you got Darius Garland, who can give you 18 to 20 every night, Donovan Mitchell can give you 25 to 30 every night. Now you can say, okay, Ty Jerome, you come in and you be the spark plug, kind of the person that, not to say he's not expected to go off and have these scoring outputs, but kind of just that hidden piece that fits right into the puzzle. He can come out and give you 16 to 20 a night. We've even seen Ty Jerome go get you 30. And I
Mm-hmm.
think for him, it's not that I don't have a problem with Ty Jerome taking 20 shots. It's more so the fact that he has to be a lot more aggressive because no Darius Garland. And like I said, DeAndre Hunter, I think he is another one of those players who also has to step it up a bit more. But you talked about it for a good portion of your of your assessment of this game. Evan Mobley, 9 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three. Got what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he decided that, okay, I'm 7 feet, Pascal Siakam, whoever they try to put on me, even if it was Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, whoever they try to put on me, I can go get a basket at any time. I don't want to see Evan Mobley getting his only points when he's getting putbacks, when he's doing putback dunks, getting offensive rebounds, putting the ball back in the basket. I want to see Evan Mobley be aggressive. Let's run some plays for Evan Mobley. In this basketball game tonight, you want to see him come out and you want to see Kenny Atkinson, like you said, unleash Evan Mobley.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're waiting on. This is the perfect time to unleash Evan Mobley. You saw in this basketball game, they just don't have an answer. Evan Mobley can put the basketball on the floor. He can shoot the three-point shot. He can score from the mid-range, and he can get to the rim. And not to mention, like you said, he's the defensive player of the year. This is one of those moments where you find out who your playoff risers are and you
Mm-hmm.
find out who your playoff risers aren't. And I think for me, and you said it as well. I'm challenging Evan Mobley to do that tonight. 25 or more points. There is no reason that he can't get that because you only had 13 shot attempts and you had 20 points. Now let's say you take 18 to 22 shot attempts. That's an easy outing, and they're going to need that scoring. Hopefully, and like you said, there are some injury concerns that we still have to worry about with some of those players for Cleveland. But like I said, in a perfect world, they can get Garland back. I think that without Garland, I think Indiana has the upper hand in this series without Garland. I truly think that.
Right. And I think a big thing that Garland brings to the team is like just that structure. He's a point guard. And Donovan Mitchell, that's not his game. He's not a floor general. He's a guy that's I'm here to score, and that's what I'm looking to do. And we saw that in game one with his 30 shot attempts. Ty Jerome has emerged to be a playmaker for them. He finished with 8 assists. He had a couple double-digit assist games in the last series, but it ain't nothing like having your starting PG. It ain't nothing like having your starting PG. So I'm with you. If Garland can't get back, if he doesn't get back soon enough, we may be having an upset in the second round. And I remember I was at dinner Sunday during the game, and my cousin said, "Oh, no Garland." I said, "Man, the Pacers ain't that good." And then I go home and check the score, and like they won the game. So the Pacers have definitely shocked me. They got a lot more respect out of me. I'm gonna be watching the game tonight closely and seeing what I missed throughout the regular season. But it's just I think the Cavs are in legit trouble, especially if Mobley and Hunter miss tonight's game as well. They are in legit trouble.
Absolutely. I mean, even going back to Indiana side, Tyrese Haliburton.
Mhm.
I don't think he gets enough, and he really took the overrated comments a
He
little
did.
personal.
He did.
I mean, we saw what he was doing in round one, and he's continued that through game one of the second round of the NBA playoffs. I mean, 22 points, 9 of 15 from the field, 2 of 6 from the three, and 13 assists. Just all over the basketball court. I mean, even defensively, because we know that when you look at those lineups that they're gonna run out there, really outside of TJ McConnell, Tyrese Haliburton is a player that you probably want to try to attack defensively for Indiana in terms of guards playing on-ball defense. But Tyrese Haliburton, I thought that he stepped up to the challenge defensively in this basketball game. It's really going for him. He's going to have to continue to. We know he's a pass-first point guard. We can expect him to get 8 to 12 assists a night. I think, though, scoring-wise, when he gets you 20 plus, your chances of winning increase
Right.
amazingly
Right.
because you're not really saying Tyrese Haliburton, you have to go out here and get us 20 a night. That's really not his job. So when he adds that along with the playmaking, along with pushing the pace for this basketball team, allowing them to play fast with that pace that they have and what they're known for, I mean, this basketball team, you look at it, their entire starting lineup had 13 or more points. Miles Turner was their lowest scorer in the starting lineup. He had 13 points, shot 5 of 9. The only player who didn't shoot extremely efficient was Pascal Siakam, and he shot 6 of 15, which isn't horrible, but
Right.
compared to Aaron Nesmith, 5 of 8 from the field, 4 for 6 from the 3. Miles Turner, 5 of 9. Andrew Nembhard, 7 of 10 from the field, and then Tyrese Haliburton, 9 of 15. They couldn't miss. And like you said, we can't just overreact to game one because who's to say that they can shoot the light? Who you're not gonna shoot? And honestly, I could probably say I don't see them shooting 52% from the three again.
Yeah.
And I don't see it.
Yeah.
But how many times do we see Cleveland shooting 23% from the field again throughout this series? Like you said, they've went 90 plus games, 10 or more threes, and somehow magically in game one, they can only make 9 threes out of 38 attempts. So it's still early and there's a lot of basketball to be played, but I think this is a very, very interesting matchup that can go either way.
Right. Right. So let us know in the comments, man. Hopefully, what we said comes to fruition in tonight's game. Going for 24 hour sports. We out here.